think I'll just base it on that trees way over in that area. Here we go. Here we go. Did I copy that or yes I did? Okay. I'm printing with two negatives, the main negative and a black negative. As quickly as I can. I really like to leave it face down. Now I've got to wait all day for it to dry before I can do anything. Tissue's all dried and ready to go, so now I'm going to sensitize it. Okay, so I've got a mixture of 2% ammonium dichromate, and I'm going to use 7 mils. And now I'm going to dilute it with 7 mils of acetone. And I'll put half of this diluted amount into this little beaker, because I like to do 2 coatings. Just that it's quite a bit of solution to do all at once, have it all slopping around. When I sensitize, I use a respirator. Why? Because acetone fumes are pretty strong. Yes, and I'm also wearing rubber gloves because I'm handling dichromate. Do I sound like Darth Vader? Or does it sound like Darth Vader? Cool. Ceiling fan going. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh. Turn this on. And as quickly as I can. This will be the first coat. And then, so right away, we'll put in the next. And I'll brush it in as quick as I can. Good. So this, I won't throw in the garbage. These will be rinsed with vitamin C before it's dumped out. This will also be soaked in vitamin C solution, which should neutralize the dichromate. Same with there, same with this, so it will get rinsed with vitamin C. Okay, so I've got it up here to dry. It's going to take a couple of hours. To speed that up, I'm going to put my fan on light setting. Okay, and I'll be back when it's dry. I'll probably check on it in an hour, but it usually takes a couple of hours. So I've rinsed these out into here, and the little rag or whatever makeup cloth is in the water, and also the brush is here. I've kind of sort of rinsed it off, but I'll do that more thoroughly once I dump in some vitamin C. It's time to size the paper, and I use an acrylic medium that I diluted 1:1 with water, and I use a high density roller to apply, and I do 4 coats. Of course I have to wait for each coat to dry, so it takes a little bit of time. Make sure your surface is really clean, otherwise your roller will pick up lint and roll it onto your paper. If that happens, you can usually just pick it off with your finger. Okay, I've got it all coated, but it's all kind of stipply. So now, with using just the weight of the roller, I just go over the entire surface until that stippling is gone. And it doesn't take too long. It's really important that you remove the stippling, otherwise you'll have a really rough surface and you won't be able to do smooth transfers. You'll get blistering. How do I know that? Because it's happened to me in my early days carbon printing. Almost there. No lint issues, which is good. Hope I didn't jinx it. Okay, that looks good. I'll hang it up to dry. It takes about 15 minutes. And I'll just leave it there. I'll just clean the glass after each coat, otherwise it'll build up and the glass will be ruined eventually. Okay, I've got the main and negative masked off, and that's just to prevent frilling along the edges when you make your transfer. I'm printing with two negatives, the main negative and a black negative. So it's basically a mask that will only allow exposure through these areas. As you can see, they're a lot lighter. Just to kind of enhance the image relief a little bit. So I'm going to get this one attached to the tissue. These two have to be in registration. So I'm going to make two exposures. First this one for an allotted amount of time, and then I'll remove this and then register this one on it. And I just have these registration marks. And I just use pins. That's it. So while this one is in the oven exposing, I'll tape this one up to get it ready. Let's go. I use these glasses. These are magnifying glasses, so it's just easier to see the registration marks when I'm pushing the pin in. So right now I'm just centering the negative as best as I can onto the tissue. I'll poke a pin in very carefully. And I'll do the same on this side. Be very careful to get it right in the crosshairs. Slowly twist it down. Okay, and I just have from foam rubber here. A little bit of tape. Pull pins out. And leave them here for the next negative mask. Okay, into the oven we shall go. Don't need those anymore. Here we go. Okay. Time for the black mask. Open this. Okay, I already punctured holes in this. One's going to go there, and one's going to go there. Pieces of tape. Okay. Tape. Okay, I'm going to bake this one. This one I bake for 3 minutes. Actually, this is where I'll squeegee after I've made it. The tissue to the substrate. That's ready. Now I have to get the mating bath ready. Into the mating bath we go. So it'll sit in here for 4 minutes. And notice I'm wearing gloves because the dichromate in the tissue is going to leach out into this water. Water's 15 degrees Celsius. You want it cold, otherwise it'll start to melt the tissue, and we don't want to do that. We're going to mate these together. My paper is smaller than the tissue. I usually like to have them the same size, so I've got marks on here so that the image will be centered on the paper, hopefully. I don't know if you can see, but the water's pale yellow from all the dichromate that's leached out, so I have to treat this before it goes down the drain. Squeegee. It's a little bit tricky when the paper substrate's smaller than the tissue. I gotta feel for the edge and squeegee inside that edge. I don't want to risk pushing air under because I'll get blistering. That should be good. Well, I'm going to leave it just like this. A lot of people put heavy glass. I do have glass here. I'm not going to bother. It's not necessary. If the tissue starts to curl up, then I'll put glass on top of it, but it shouldn't be. It won't take me too long to get the hot water development bath set up. Okay, time to develop. The water temperature is 45 degrees Celsius, and I use the drift down method. I'll start at 45, and after 3 minutes, it should be about 42, 41, 42. That's when I peel the tissue substrate away. So we'll leave it in there for 3 minutes. Alright, time is up. Let's peel away tissue substrate. The great thing about Yupo is I can use it over and over and over again. A lot of these sheets I've had for over 10 years. Now this paper is Arches Platine. It's pretty heavy. Sometimes it won't float on the top. But I really like to leave it face down so that the gelatin falls away as it melts. And while it's sitting there floating, I clean the tissue. Take a look. Not bad. Looks pretty good. And this extra tissue is just going to peel away usually. What I like about acrylic sizing paper, there's no staining, so I don't have to use any chemicals to get the stain out. And besides that, I really like the look. Okay, I'm going to change the water. And more warm water. Looks very nice. I mean, it's not bad for a 120 negative. A Rolei infrared negative. So any of the little lines here left from the gelatin, they just come off with my thumb. You want to be really careful because this surface is very, very, very delicate. Okay, I'm going to finish developing this. Now I know it's been developed enough. The water that's coming off here is clean. If you see any traces of pigment, then it goes back in. Sometimes I have to change this water. It's looking pretty good. So once I'm happy, I'll give it a cold water bath to set the gelatin, then I'll hang it up to dry. What do you think? Is it a keeper? I think I like it.